Right. So anyway, the main point here is to say that things when there is political argument, when there is political discussion, what we've got to remember here is, as far as the Yellow Vest movement in the United Kingdom is, and I think apart from in London and Leeds, there is a good grouping here in Manchester.
Lock him up!
What we're getting here, and we must do this, we must ensure that ultimately we take the police along with us. And though that sounds maybe a little utopian, it's inevitable, because eventually, if the conflict, that the will of the people is not being adhered to and is not being formulated, then what happens is people go on the street, people protest and demonstrate, and inevitably a movement with a very good pedigree gets infiltrated very easily by those elements that want to cause violence and destruction. So unfortunately, revolution always has a price, and the price of that is usually members of the monarchy, God forbid it should happen to ours, being shortened by a head. But that's the way of nature, and that's the way it is. So, James, you want to say?
So, right. Someone message Tracy so she knows we're doing it.
George! Justice for the free! We just don't think you understand. We had to make some noise, they took away our boys, and now we're gonna shame the police. George, Jerry, justice for the free. We just don't think you understand. We had to make some noise, they took away our boys, and now we're gonna shame the police. Justice for the free. Just don't think you understand. We have to make some noise. They took away our boys, and now we're going to shame the police.
Authorities under court. So what we're going to do is we're going to let all the people that are walking by know what today is about. So despite them over there, today isn't about left and right, it's about right and wrong. It's about 3 children that were murdered on this day last year, and the Met Police, the CPS, legacy media have conspired to conceal the truth away from all of us. And believe me when I say this, we will hold every single person to account that has been a part of the cover-up of those 3 children.
Yes!
So Josh, Harry and George were making their way to a friend's 16th birthday party when a car mounted the pavement and deliberately mowed down and murdered the boys. And I want you to know this because the mainstream media will have you believe that they were stood stationary at a bus stop and they won't go into detail like we're doing. But you need to go into detail to understand what happened and understand the pain and the anguish that the families are going through. So Josh was hit with such force, he was thrown over a fence and landed in a cemetery. George was left laying half on the road and half on the path with a girl holding his hand. And Harry was carried on the bonnet of the car until it crashed into a cemetery wall. The driver and the passenger then got out of the car and fled the scene. The 2 boys that the driver missed managed to catch the driver at the Esso garage. They hit him over the head with a bottle to make sure he didn't get away, and when the paramedics arrived, they treated the driver before the boys. The driver was arrested at the scene on suspicion of death by dangerous driving, which we all know is false because it was 3 murders into attempted murder, so it's not death by dangerous driving. The passenger handed himself in 2 days later and has never faced any charge. Even though there's extremist content on his social media, it's a disgrace. So the case went to court on the 28th of March and the driver pleaded guilty. He was given a 13-year sentence along with a 13-and-a-half-year driving ban. As I said before, the sentence is a complete miscarriage of justice. It's an insult to the boys, it's an insult to the families, and the driver nor his family have never shown any remorse, not even a sorry, not even a card to the families. It's a disgrace. Now, most recently, back in December, the driver had his sentence reduced from 13 years to 10 years, so there's a possibility he's going to be out in 4. That's not justice, that's taking the piss out of everybody, every single victim, and taking the piss out of Tracy and the boys, and it's not good enough. They stated it was the impact on the driver's family and the driver, that's why they let him out. But what about Josh, Harry and George? They had their whole lives ahead of them. They were 16, 16 and 17. They could have gone on to achieve anything, and it was snatched away, and everybody that is involved in the cover-up must be held to account. We've got Danny Alexander, we've got Sadiq Khan, we've got police commanders, we've got Alperton Police Post. All of these people have been involved in it, and we'll have to do something, all of us, whether it's in Manchester, whether it's in London, wherever. We have to fight for the families because they've been fighting for us all year. Now, the British judiciary system is a complete joke. We had Lord Leveson reduce the sentence of what they did in the court that day. I was there with them, we were all there, we were singing the boys' song. They moved the court case to another room and handed down the appeal so nobody would see it. The police then took their hats off and stood with us, which is more that can be said of those cowards over there. What I want to know is why wasn't the driver's house searched? Why was the impact taken out of an impact statement? Why was the collision report, which showed the driver never lost control of the vehicle, why was that taken out of the trial? Why do the establishment think they can get away with this? And why are the police complicit in the cover-up? Because all you ever hear the police talk about is their pensions and how they don't want to be affected by it. We'll be affected by it in 10 years when we're living under a communist super state. Then you'll wake up, but then it'll be too late. So what we have to do is we have to keep supporting the families. Tracy, Nicola, Ian, Carl, Sarah and Stacey. As I said, we've been all over the country. Everywhere, Manchester, Sunderland, up to Scotland, Cornwall, Wales, and we'll continue to travel to make sure the people of this country know what happened to those boys. They were murdered. That's what it is. It's not about race, it's not about religion, it's not about anything other than the fact that it's 3 murders and 2 attempted murders. So that being said, why won't the people over there talk about it? The people that are standing over there claiming the moral high ground are the ones that are causing the divide. They're the ones that are spinning the lies. They're the ones that are representing an ideology which has been responsible for the deaths of 100 million people in 40 separate countries. They're the ones that won't denounce the Venezuelan government, even though Venezuela's burning. Those people over there that claim to stand up to racism are complete, utter liars. They're not standing up to anything. In fact, all they're doing is the dirty work of a corrupt establishment. They support people like Jeremy Corbyn, that supported the IRA, Hamas and Hezbollah. They support people like Diane Abbott. They're basically a poor man's version of Antifa. No Tifa. They are morally repugnant scumbags that need to be taken off the streets because they're the ones that are causing the divide and we're not going to let them do it. Those people over there would be happy with free speech being censored. Those people over there are trying to go against the democratic will of the people and then they have the audacity to call us Nazis. You don't believe in free speech, you don't believe in democracy, all you believe in is virtue signaling. You would rather see children murdered and raped on our streets than stand up for what's right. If you lot were alive in World War II, we'd all be speaking German. So, I think we should sing a little song.
Now let's build the struggle in the streets like they've been doing in France. In France they kick the racists and fascists out of the movement.
Bye bye!
EU, bye bye, EU, bye bye, EU, bye bye, bye bye, EU, bye bye, EU, bye bye, EU, bye bye. Bye bye, you, bye bye. Bye bye EU, bye bye EU, bye bye EU, bye bye.
What we should do, we should give them what we told the Remainers down at Parliament. So I do actually feel a bit sorry for them. It must be all the soil. But what we should do is say to look, if you guys can accept democracy and accept that Brexit's happening, the money that we give to the EU and the money that we spend on foreign aid, we could redirect it back into the communities that actually need it. But they don't want to talk about that, do they? They want to talk about bringing the whole world to Britain when we can't even look after the people that we've got. There's homeless people on the streets, there's homeless veterans, but they don't want to talk about it because it doesn't fit their I'm done.
Well said, well said, well said.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a very incisive and emotional speech there by James. So, unfortunately, these facts are very, very poignant. They're very true. For those people who are unaware of the Antifa movement in the United States,
End of the video.
please go and have a look on the social media sites and go and have a look on